Morning, everyone. Welcome to Mega Webinar. I'm Grace Chan. I'm the marketing manager for Mega East Asia, and I'll be the moderator for today. Today is a live webinar. You're automatically muted to prevent any background noises. During the webinar, if you have any questions, please type in the question box, which you can see on the left of your screen. We'll answer your question at the Q&A session. At the end of the webinar, please have a fill in the survey, which you can see on the right-hand side. We'll be sending the presentation materials to those committed the survey. And you'll be able to download an attendance certificate after you have finished the webinar and committed the survey. And the recording of this webinar will be available in 2 days' time by email. So our topic today is first trip test as effective way to check the condition of a circuit breaker. Presented by Jumaidi, who is the East Asia application engineer. Next slide, please. Jumaidi is from Mega and has over 19 years of experience in electrical engineering and have been 11 years at Mega already. He obtained his bachelor's degree in electrical engineering from the College of Engineering Technology, PLN, Indonesia. And his area of profession is circuit breaker testing, with more than 15 years of field experience in testing and commissioning. He plays a key role in the circuit breaker group at Mega and contributes a lot to the product innovation and development. So now, without further delay, let's start now. Thank you for joining us today. Jumaidi, I'll pass the time to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Grace, for your introduction. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today on regular Mega webinar. As Grace informed, today I will talk about the first trip test as effective way to check the condition of the circuit breaker. So please, Grace, if you see any issue, maybe signal issue, you cannot hear me anymore, just please let me know. So I will stop and continue later.
Oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah, this is the agenda that I will try to share and explain on this today webinar. I will talk about the little bit introduction of the maintenance circuit breaker and strategy on the maintenance circuit breaker, and also I will talk about what is the first trip definition, and also how we can do first trip, and also why is coil current, why we use the coil current as a parameter point to analyze on the first trip testing. And also I will share the key benefit of the first trip. You can see the benefit of this testing compared to the other testing on the standard. And also I will explain about the coil current trace definition, how we can see some issue from this coil current trace, and general analysis to give you more general information regarding to the interpreted the result of the first trip testing. At the end, of course, I will share you some case study based on the Mega experience and some other public documentation. So I will share also that that information to you all. At the end, summaries. I will talk about the summaries of this webinar. Yeah, start from the circuit breaker testing. Why? Because first trip is part of the circuit breaker testing. So a key requirement from electricity network is to provide safe, efficient, and reliable power to customers. So when fault occur due to maybe weather, equipment failure, or maybe accidental damage, then circuit breaker must quickly disconnect the fault in order to protect the network upstream side of the circuit breaker and maintain supply to the majority of customer. So therefore, the circuit breaker can be considered as the guardian of the power network. So this is the some reason why we need to do circuit breaker testing. Of course, many reasons and more, but I just talk based on this some of them. In example, like the main reason because the provide protection for expensive equipment. So the main function of the breaker, as we know, to protect your asset with the expensive and more high cost failure. So we try to avoid that condition with the circuit breaker testing, and also to prevent outage that lead to loss of income. For some institute like hospitals, sewage treatment plant, and also mines, electricity is very important for them. So if they cannot continue the process due to the system failure, of course it will impact to their income. At the end, we are maybe some people that work in the power plant, or electricity supplier, they will get impact too because this effect. So this is why circuit breaker testing is also important, and why we need to testing. And then ensure the reliability of the electricity supply. Yeah, we need to make sure the reliability. There is no stop suddenly, the break suddenly on your system, to make sure the continuously supply of the electrical supply to your customer, and prevent downtime and darkness. We don't want this happen in many customer, because this will uh, impact to the reliability of your system. And at the end, of course, we can verify the breaker performance with the testing circuit breaker. So after you got the new breaker, or after you have the fault on your system, and then you can check, verify the breaker performance with the circuit breaker testing. And talk about the maintenance strategies. There are many methods will be used to maintain your system, especially for circuit breaker, such as the corrective maintenance. This is based on the fault-based activities, whereas you do testing, you do maintenance based on the fault condition. After you see, you just wait until your system fails, and then you do maintenance after that. So this is, I think, not really good, but some customer, they still use this strategy, because based on the cost consideration, maybe in some mining or production, rather than they do maintenance, better they do it after system failure. So for them, maybe this is better, but for other customers, maybe this is not good strategy. And second example is the preventive maintenance. So this is based on the time or number of operation. Sorry, just some noise from outside. Okay. Yeah, this is based on the time or number of operations. So you do maintenance on your circuit breaker based on the how many years you already use it. So, and how many time this breaker operate on your system. So if longer and more operate the breaker, you need to prefer to do maintenance to prevent any sudden failure on the circuit breaker. So this is, we can say, regularly, but based on the how old your equipment. And the next strategy is time interval based maintenance. This is test with regular time interval. This is commonly used in many customer. They already decide every how many years they do maintenance, to make sure all system, all asset they have with the good condition, and to avoid any failure, sudden failure in the future. This is very common now. Many customer, many people, they prefer to use this because they can manage the timing, and to estimate any effect after, or when they do maintenance. And now the next strategy is condition-based maintenance. This is now getting popular in some countries, some customer. They this testing based on the predicted condition, based on the statistical data and cumulative experience. So they don't do regular time interval maintenance, but they just see the condition of the asset based on the some, maybe like online data. So from online or monitoring data that they have, they can analyze which part or which asset should be continue to the next conventional maintenance. So this is more or less on the monitoring system. So from this condition-based maintenance, they just do simple testing to estimate the which asset should be stopped, should be de-energized for the conventional testing method. And the last one is reliability center maintenance. This is similar with the condition-based maintenance, but this is condition-based with the wet CB's value and importance. So they define from more detail of data of the asset on this. But basically, these two almost the same strategy. Okay, this is just information that based on the SIGRI 2012 report, there is information according to the circuit breaker common fault. If you see here, the three condition, three fault give a higher percentage to this report, whereas you can see does not close on command, lock open or close position, and does not open on command. Whereas if you see more detail, these three of them is based on the operating of the breaker or mechanical side of the breaker, give quite high percentage compared to the other fault like breakdown, isolation issue, operate without command, and other. And again, circuit breaker fault based on component, you see, as I mentioned before, on operating mechanism, it gives higher level, up to 70% compared to other component fault. So this is based on the SIGRI 2012. Even though now many circuit breaker manufacturer, they improve the reliability, they improve the quality. So maybe no longer valid, but at least still give higher the percentage. Maybe the percentage number is not correct like this, but at least still higher compared to the other component issue. And this is the circuit breaker testing requirement. So for testing your circuit breaker, there are many requirements should be comply. Whether form of maintenance approach is selected, the most important goal is to achieve maximum reliability at lower possible life cycle cost. This is the goal, as I know from many customers. And since breaker testing many times is based on the comparison and trend analysis, it is important to strive to have the same condition from test to test. And of course, high accuracy signal acquisition is also necessary. You need to better instrument to test your asset to get the more valid result with the high measurement. So this is some requirement that's very common considered when we want to choose the instrument to testing your circuit breaker. And when we do circuit breaker testing in many condition, of course, from development, mostly this is has been done on the circuit breaker manufacturer before they develop some product. They need to test to make sure all spec will be in their expected. And production, after they produce some circuit breaker, they need to test to make sure spec is in range. And commissioning, this is mostly on the customer side or the user side. They need to make sure after they receive the instrument, circuit breaker, they need to test circuit breaker has the spec as the manufacturer circuit breaker mentioned. And maintenance, this is to fault, tracing the fault, to estimate which part will be has issue in the future, so they can avoid big problem in the future when they do good maintenance. And after service, also they need to test the breaker or recommissioning to make sure the spec still the same as they expected. And the last one is when energized. So is this new method? Yeah, actually now getting trending to test your circuit breaker, especially with when the system still energized. So we need some method to testing this condition. And for strip, This is the one of the example can be used to testing your circuit breaker while system still running. And this is the circuit breaker testing. How? If you see the standard testing of the circuit breaker, there are many testings should be done to estimate, to analyze your breaker correctly, from basic, advanced to special. If you see the basic testing, there are many testings should be done, like insulation resistance test, contact resistance, very common in contact timing, travel, some breaker, mostly in the high voltage circuit breaker, and also operating coil current and minimum trip voltage. And as you can see here, the first trip test, part of the advanced diagnostic testing. So, meaning the first trip is also refer to the standard testing to analyze your circuit breaker. And the good thing of with the first trip test is you also can get some measurements, some parameter that you normally done with the basic testing, like the contact timing and operating coil current. This testing part also can be seen by first trip testing. Okay, now it is the introduction. Now we continue to the main topic. What is the first trip testing? So based on this slide, you can read the first trip testing involves connecting the portable test equipment to the breaker while it is in service. So you do testing while the system still energized. And then you tripping the breaker to allow your test equipment to make performance measurement and then immediately reclosing it. So meaning not totally energized. So we try to make trip your system, and then after that you can reclosing it again. So you don't need to take longer time as the conventional maintenance testing, but you just take few minutes and then the system will run as normal again. It is the first trip testing. And the background why we have the first trip testing in the market now. Yeah, the failure of the failure of the conventional timing test to diagnose the cause of the slow tripping circuit breaker. This is the main reason lead to the search for a technique that will pinpoint the cause during the critical first trip. So although timing test can confirm the circuit breaker overall operating is within set limits or not, but it was discovered that the monitoring the current flowing through the trip coil provide a very powerful methodology for analyzing the circuit breaker to trip. And also, you can use this method as base maintenance toward condition-based maintenance, which is more effective maintenance strategy. So this is the background story why we have the first trip, because sometimes the conventional testing cannot present some issue in the real condition of the circuit breaker. So they still missing some information when do conventional. So this is why the first trip can be used to as additional information, or just one testing to get more all information, especially for circuit breaker that never operate for longer time, maybe for 5 years, 10 years with the idle condition. This first trip is more preferable to testing, because can give you real information. Yeah, online testing and first trip, this is the has correlation, because we test first trip while system online. We need system online. We need circuit breaker is live, and you also need coil current measurement and record first operation. This is the key. We need to record first operation of breaker after long period of rest. This is the key point of the first trip testing. We try to capture the first time breaker trip after long period of rest. And then you compare the standard timing coil trace with the reference result, or with the commissioning or data reference before that you have. Now the question is why why coil current? Why we use just coil current to analyze overall breaker? Sorry. Yeah, the main reason, before I go there, this is just illustration of the operate the breaker. As you know, when the system, uh, electrical system like this, when the CB or circuit breaker close, the system you can see CT and VT and the relay. As you know, relay here are like human brain. It's like a brain, and circuit breaker like the human muscle. So breaker will operate based on the order from this relay. Of course, relay will operate based on the condition of input voltage or current. So when system normal like this, current flow to the system and CB still closed and relay still contact relay still open. When system has fault, and then CT and VT will give information about the amount of the fault condition, either current or voltage. And then relay will detect it. If the input from these two instrument, CT and VT, are higher than the setting on the relay, and then we'll trip the contact relay. And as you know from the previous circuit, actually this contact relay already standby with the voltage to be ready when this contact close, will flow the voltage to the coil here. Because here you can see the breaker operate based on relay, but of course they will operate after get small trigger from this tripping coil. Like this, and breaker will open. After breaker open, reset, and then the contact relay will open again, and then the coil will stop to get the voltage. Actually, there is one small circuit, actually contact, as contact 52 or 52B, that can control how long this coil can get the voltage from this relay. So this is the main reason, because the circuit breaker will operate based on the how coil component work. So if this fail, of course, breaker will fail to operate. So this is some reason why coil current, because you can measure coil current when system online or offline. And also this coil current important tool in circuit breaker analysis, because you can detect potential problems in actuating coil, and also refer information on power supply. So this has correlation between coil current and the power supply to supply this coil. You can see the behavior of this trace ladder, and you can compare best method to analysis. This is why we use a coil current to analyze the circuit breaker on the first trip. Okay, and next, this is the coil current measurement. I believe many product can do this testing, can do this measurement, as Megger also can do this measurement. So most modern circuit breaker can measure coil current during standard timing or conventional timing. And Megger, we have some product. We have TM1800, TM1700, EGIL, and new EGIL 200, where it's also equipped with the coil current measurement. Either can measure with internal sun or with the external CTs. But we can do this measurement through the Megger circuit breaker test. And then what is the purpose of first trip testing? This is some information that, as I know, the first one is to identifying lubrication problem in the mechanism. So because mechanical part is many metal part, and metal part will depend on the how easy they move. Maybe if there is some corrosion, the move will be slightly hard. And also, if you have read one document from other people that really concerned on this lubrication investigate. So in 1997, actually, it's like a certain Californian edition, they implemented a maintenance strategy that including with the lubricating circuit breaker bearing with some grease material. So on that document, they mentioned about this lubrication has to be considered on the maintenance of your circuit breaker, because this can give effect to the operating and the performance of circuit breaker. So with the first trip testing, we can identifying lubrication problem in the mechanism. And also to identifying mechanical wear, as I mentioned, because all mechanical part is metal and easy to corrosion based effect by environment condition, temperature, humidity, and weather can affect to the metal part here. So if breaker doesn't operate more longer time, maybe more 5 years, 10 years, it will of course affect the metal parts here. So first step we can verify it. So whether all condition affected to the mechanical or not. And also identifying control circuit malfunction, because as you know, we also try to see the response of the auxiliary contact to stop the coil current, to stop the voltage inject to the coil. So if there is issue on the auxiliary contact, we can see also from this first strip. So we can identify with the first strip testing. And the last one, I think this is also one reason, we can make sure the fault clearance time in actual or real condition. Yeah, because as you know, based on this table, system voltage level versus the fault clearance time, this is very variant. Yeah. If higher voltage level give maximum fault clearance time is faster. Example, system with 30 below 33 kV, mostly the maximum fault clearance time is around 1.1 second in total. But if you have system higher voltage, in example 500 kV or maybe 275, of course the clearance time will be reduced, meaning it should be faster than compared to the lower voltage level. So with first trip, you can make sure this to maintain your total clearance time still in your expected. This is the total clearance fault illustration. Actually, after the fault, the main protection will operate, and the protection contact on your relay will close. This will initiate the trip relay, which will energize the tripping coil. The circuit breaker contact and then will open, and then the fault will be clear suddenly. And in a high voltage system, we will maybe we can say some customer, they hope the range of the time around 30 to 50 milliseconds. And for relay, contact itself, the contact itself in the relay is mostly less than or around 8 milliseconds. And this one, our point from the first trip, circuit breaker opening time, some of customer they decide maximum is 50 milliseconds. So in the total, if you calculate around 88 milliseconds. So with this condition, we can say this total time of fault clearance still okay for system up to 500 kV. But remember, this just has remain around 12 milliseconds. So if some of them, either relay or circuit breaker has failed, this can add the total clearance time. But based on many experience, I think the failure on the contact relay is, I can say, very less chance compared to the circuit breaker opening time. So this is why first trip more effective to analyze your clearance time. Okay, and this is if your system has the backup protection, maybe they still add some more delay up to your backup protection work. Just from until here, same, just different here. Some company, they still consider the arching time, because after breaker opening, not the current still flowing some level, so they decide some arching time to estimate the total clearance time. And if one breaker failed to operate, they still have some spare time for backup protection work. So in total, from fault initiation to the backup fault clearing, around 250 milliseconds. They need to make sure the breaker, the system, no more than this value. It is the reason also and benefit of this first step testing. Okay, and then this is the key benefit of the first trip. Some of them already explained, but yeah, you can record real-world operating condition, simple and faster hookup, no operation perform and check, and not require full breaker out of service because just short time. You can just do reclose, very short, and easy way to get quick feel for health of breaker. So this very good way to analyze your breaker condition with the very short time testing. And also improve your circuit breaker performance. No more slow trip. We expect it because you can detect early if you have you have this issue. And also minimize the damage to plant and risk of injury to personnel. Still has chance to injure the person, but if you follow the standard procedure how to connect the connection, it will be more safety compared to the conventional testing because you will take more time and more risk on that condition. And enable a condition-based maintenance strategy. This is now getting trending. It will reduce your operational costs because you don't need to spend whole day to do maintenance on your circuit breaker. It is the first trip key benefit for you, I think, I can share. Yeah, what can be detected by first trip? You can detect if breaker operating time is outside limit, if for trip and close. And also you can determine the state of health close and trip coil mechanism. Is there any effect with the lubrication or maybe dry use or any mechanism issue you can detect? And the condition of DC, of course, because DC has correlation with the coil current performance. You can the condition of DC supply and wiring associated to the DC supply also can be detected. And the presence of sticky or faulty circuit breaker auxiliary contact. So even common, very rare, but still possibility to failure on the auxiliary contact, you still can detect through this first trip. Yeah, what to look for? Yeah, this is some information. Maybe I will explain about some definition here after this slide. But with the latch information, you can estimate the problem on latch time because this latch time issue will affect to the total time. So increase latch time increases pole separation time, and also auxiliary contact interruption time. Any delay in A contact, auxiliary contact time will extend coil energizing time. Maximum current with this issue, high current could indicate wrong coil size, or low current could show increased coil resistance due to maybe loose connection or bad connection. From faulted may indicate failing DC supply, insufficient wiring or loose fuses. And from main contact time, of course, you could indicate one mechanism or incorrect electrical wipe in your circuit breaker. Yeah, and this is operation of solenoid. Why I try to explain this? Because when we talk the tripping coil, basically the principle of the tripping coil works similar like the solenoid. Yeah. So when solenoid, you give voltage here, the current will flow to this solenoid, then the current will affect to move this armature or the plunger here. So you can see then the plunger will move to some direction, either right or left, depending on the current direction you apply to the solenoid. So more detail like this using the right hand rule, I think from your school, where is when the coil give a voltage, and then you can see there is electromagnetic force with the direction depend on the current direction. So an example, if direction of the current is upward, and then the plunger or armature will move to the right side. So this is the how does solenoid works, because we use this methodology to analyze the coil, tripping coil work. Yeah, and also hosing effect in solenoids. If you put some hosing on the solenoid, it will affect to the force movement of this plunger or armature. So this is why many solenoid they put with the hosing to get better effect on the moving part of this plunger. Okay, this is the information about the solenoid. And now let's move to the main analysis. This is the coil current trace. If you see here, this is the ideal current coil current trace. Mostly you will see more or less like this, even though not the same as this exactly, but I can say will be similar like this. So I will try to explain this with a number. As you can see, this is the when a trip coil is first energized, current flow from zero. The current flows through its winding, and then the magnetic line of force in the coil will magnetize the iron core of the armature or armature or the plunger in the middle part of the coil. It affect inducing a force in the armature. So the current flowing to the trip coil increased to the point where the force exerted on the armature is sufficient enough to overcome the forces combined with the gravitational and friction, which may be exerted pulling the armature through the trip coil core. So the magnitude of the initial current from this one to this one is proportional to energy that required to move the armature from start from its initial rest position. It will be depend on that. And then the movement of the iron core through the trip coil generates an electromagnetic force in the coil that in turn has an effect on the current flowing through it. So the rate of rise of current depend on the change in inductance of the coil. Yeah. And then if you see number 3 to number 4, this is the armature operate the trip latch, which in the turn collapse the trip mechanism. This one, 4 to 5, met with the drop. So more energy is required for the armature to resume motion and overcome the additional loading to the probe. So more energy is required, and then anomaly may caused by degradation of maybe probe bearing, lubrication, change in the temperature, excessive opening spring can affect this characteristic. And then from 4 to 5, it is the armature complete its travel and stop in 0.5 and complete travel here. And you will see the steeper the curve, meaning the faster the armature is moving. So this is like the speed of the armature, speed of the plunger to analyze that in the latching position, latching compartment. So and then after that, the armature has complete, and there is current signature similar. Here you can see the magnitude of the current is depend on the DC resistance of the coil. So if you see the RDC of the coil will be in this area. So will be constant after a few time. And then when the auxiliary contact 52A open, the current will decay to 0. So this is the explanation of the coil current trace. So meaning this from 5 to 9 mostly affect by mechanism of the circuit breaker, and from 1 to 5 it is more or less affect by latching and your coil, your coil that trigger mechanical part of the trigger. So maybe I will try to explain more clear by this picture. Yeah, this is the illustration, the circuit breaker, coil, latching, and spring that can be used to as mechanical part to move the breaker from close to open or open to close. So this is the trip coil. In the middle part is the plunger or armature, and this one is trip latch. Trip latch meaning some uh, part that can be used to hold mechanical part of the breaker. So if this move with the small force, and then higher force will move from the spring. This is just to hold the spring. So if this move, the spring will move to right and then will operate the breaker. So triplet is one part close to the mechanical, but will work after get trigger from your electronic or electrical from the coil. So this one, when breaker still close, coil current also in rest position, and when plunger start to move, and then current until here, but then stop little bit again after touch, because this latch component also considered as mechanical. So if there is some grease issue or some mechanical issue, this will resistant this plunger move. So this is why the first touch, the current will reduce again, decrease until the latching part is moving, and then they increase again until to this level. Now, because there is no latching hold this spring, and then the spring will move to the right, the plunger stop, and then main contact begin to open. So they push this spring to the main contact breaker, and breaker contact open until this point 7. So this is the saturated condition where is the coil energized and proportional with the resistance of the coil. You can measure resistance in this point. So when auxiliary contact here open, this one, and then the coil current will go to zero. So this is the illustration how coil current can give you information about the breaker. So it is the main reason why from this coil current we can trace it. Yeah, this is precondition. This is how to test. Sorry, you just need catch pulse operation, parallel current missing, meaning if there is no parallel system, you can do just reclose, open, and give delay 300 milliseconds and close. Then you can get measurement. But if parallel current path exists, if you have the parallel system, you can do just single open and then see what happened, and then you can do close again, because you have the separate system to backup as backup. And basic hookup, you need trigger from control host tripping command, control voltage measurement, and coil current measurement via external CT, and line current to measure the main contact. You need to measure the load of the current, and also measure the auxiliary contact if this side. This is the general information about the connection. You can see here, this is our instrument, Megger instrument. You can measure the CT on the load, current load, and this is the CT to measure the coil current. You can add any other connection to measure voltage or 52A, 52B, depend on your requirement. But meaning this connection still possible you access when system online, because we touch in the LV side of the system. We don't touch the high voltage side on your system. So you still can do it. And this one, command, we just need the command from external. Either you can press by manually, or you can do remotely through the control room. And you just make sure you can see the waiting trigger, meaning the instrument here ready to get trigger or to get measurement. This one. And this is how some settings should be changed. Mostly our TM series using the operator measure as trigger, but now you change to the trigger in. This is for the people that has that have TM series using the Java Win software or Java local software. And also measurement of the control voltage. This is important point to maintain compare the control voltage parameter. Yeah, because the reaction time of the armature is proportional to the control voltage, and maybe could to some extent be interpreted from the coil current trace, but provide that the coil current is no but direct measurement is meaning. So even though this has correlation, but if you have any issue from this testing, you need direct measurement to check your control voltage. This is the example of real connection. This is the to measure load current CT on the RST, and this is to measure the coil for both closing and tripping. For this case, we did offline, just for testing, not the real for strip, but meaning we do on the system without the load actually. Yeah, this is the connection of the current. From this measurement, you can detect the main contact timing. From here, you can see this is the coil current trace, and this is the load of the current. So we can decide this is as the main contact operation, and from this coil current, we can define other parameter. Okay, this is some general analysis, maybe very useful for your information. This is example of faulty battery charger. Example on 12-volt peak-to-peak ripple, superimpose 180 hertz. That can indicating problem with the three-phase battery charger. You can see this not smooth DC. There's some ripple. The ripple can also be seen reflected in the trip coil current profile. So this have problem not give effect short time to the your breaker, but still you need to investigate the problem if you see the faulty battery charger issue. Okay, and then here regarding to high impedance DC supply, from this graph, from this picture, you can see this record saw the voltage drop, the green one drop during breaker operation. This caused by increased resistance in the DC supply of the breaker. So you can see the latching coil operation here increase. When the coil operation increase, the main contact also will increase. So you can see the comparison between the red one and the green one. So this is getting give you the longer time of the operation of the circuit breaker. So you need to investigate what caused this issue. Probably some connection or issue on the battery circuit. And this one reduce mechanism operating speed. So if you see from here to here similar, but only the end of the current going down is different. So this mostly affect the speed by speed contact operating time. This affect by some maybe mechanical issue on your circuit breaker. Yeah, this will give you delay in main contact operating time, but more importantly is reduction speed which contact removing is that part, this one. Yeah, this one increased contact erosion, insulator contamination will result from the longer arching. So if you consider the arching time, it will affect to this issue. So you need to consider, but mostly on the mechanical part. And you can see this one, poor contact on trip circuit. This example so this issue. General form of the profile is valid for both. You can do for trip or closed coil. So loose fuse in the breaker cabinet can often cause this type of fault. However, this is case problem should be visible by DC voltage trace actually. Then something is very important. This breaker operation, trip time, and velocities remain unchanged. So meaning you cannot see this fault by conventional testing method. So this is why additional of the advanced first tip, you want to detect this one. Because with conventional you cannot detect because the time of the coil and also mechanical still the same. Just you can see this issue, and then you need to do investigation later on. And this one burn out trip coil. So if you see similar like this, because this is semi burn out of the coil, not totally burn, but because the operation of the coil is very short in millisecond, so in some case the breaker still operate, maybe some limit change like this one due to the higher current needed to increase to force on the latching part. So you can see the mechanical also getting hard to work. So this is increase the pick up level on the second pick. So if you see this one, this means some semi burn out coil. So sometimes if you're lucky, the breaker still operate, but to be careful, if maybe you inject voltage longer time little bit, the coil will broken. So if coil broken, of course, damage. You cannot operate the breaker anymore. Increasing triplet friction. So you can see this is the affecting of increasing friction, the triplet release mechanism of the breaker. So different latching issue. So latching, as you, if you remember from previous slide, is a mechanical part that hold the spring of the bigger power on the circuit breaker. So if this effect may be longer, and then you will get the longer time at the end. This will be proportional. You still have the same on the timing, caused by, but the problem you cannot detect also this because the speed will be the same. The speed will be the same, but the timing maybe will increase. But speed will be the same because you see the speed will calculate from this point. So if you see calculate from this point to this point will be the same as you see from this one to this one and this one to this one. But the total time will affect it, but the speed still the same. So you cannot detect from conventional sometimes. So first tip can detect this. Okay, I need to, yeah, okay, then we continue to the case study from this next, maybe I will make it faster a little bit. Yeah, this is one example case study that Mega have done before, used on the GE FK121 22,000 breaker. It's all circuit breaker with the 220 kV, well, 1200 amp continuous current and 22 kA short circuit. This is the spec of the breaker, where it had not operated for over a year. So this is quite they don't operate for longer time, maybe 1 year. And then we try to test it. We try to capture the breaker record for strip, isolate and ground both sides, hook up timing, and also perform conventional timing after that, and try to compare the result between per strip and the conventional testing method. And breakers live, all connection made inside cabinet, two CTs, one for coil current and one for line current. We measure control voltage and connect the trip command. So this is the connection example. We try to connect here in cabinet, and then we also, this is the sample connection for voltage measurement. And this is the result that we have here. So you can see this is the trip coil profiler, and this is the load current here. So this is, we can consider as the main contact time, and this is to analyze the tripping coil current with how much peak current and the total length. Okay, and we record for strip, control release breaker, proceed to isolate breaker and ground both sides, hook up, and then motion transducer. This is for conventional testing. And we connect transducer here with the linear transducer. And then we got the measurement. This is the timing operation, and this is the to measure speed. for close operation. And noted here that the trip time is around 24 up to 26 milliseconds. Okay, whereas when you compare to the first trip, I think it's around 50 something. So different, different little bit. So from here, current extension 30 milliseconds. So we have some deviation, but not much, but still has some deviation here. So in general, first trip versus second trip 0.31 millisecond faster compared to the first trip. This is the first trip, this is the second trip, faster. And first trip versus the third trip, again, they improve the timing more faster. Third trip, 0.66 millisecond faster. So this happen actually when you do conventional testing, whereas if you do more exercise the breaker, it will affect to the performance of your breaker. Looks getting better time by time. But maybe in some condition the deviation no longer available. But still, if you compare first and second and third, normally you can see some different for breaker that never operate for year, 2 year, or maybe more than 3 years. So still within tolerance, your breaker put back in service, but check for strip in Sigman and compare tracer. So at least they have data to compare on the next testing. So because they can prove on this, the trip testing has give you more real timing information compared to the conventional, or on some cases maybe the delay or difference between both will be higher. Okay, and then I'll skip this one. This is another example for IPO first trip. You can see the between RST different a little bit, but consider as 120 degree. Whereas you cannot see this on the profiler. Yeah, actually there is in the market has different between profiler and first trip testing. Different is the profiler only can measure normally one coil, so you cannot record IPO coil current if there are many 3 coil or 3 phase. Sorry, this is our old product. This similar like profiler, but not analyzer, because analyzer more or less you can applicable for all circuit breaker, including with the 3 phase IPO circuit breaker. Okay, and then this one another case from some document. I will make it fast. You can see this is the latch time. Trip 2 is higher, 150 millisecond. So after investigate, this is short after trip 2. This we can detect some problem on the coil current, coil part. This one, sorry, present second trip. Then this is the previous first trip, very good in the red graph, and the blue one is present second trip 3, and this is the present first trip. So actually you can see high difference between this one and this one. After they do maintenance, they can check it and replace some component, and they got the good result close to the previous first trip result. Okay, and next case like this for other example, GE FKD25 with new slip bushing. So they can see difference between first trip before and after they replace the bushing. Little bit here, the effect on the second peak on the mechanical issue. So there is no issue with loose wire or auxiliary contact and main contact time. So they continue to the operating breaker. Yeah, actually, many more study case you can read from this presentation, but sorry, because time limit, I cannot explain all. But this is very good example for your reference that explain you the first step testing is very good method as alternative way to detect, to see the condition of the circuit breaker. Yeah, and you can read this later maybe. I will share this material presentation after this webinar. And also, I can make a summaries in total from many study case. We can make summaries to analyze your tripping coil profile. So the evaluation one is, if you see this characteristic like this compared to the reference result, if the peak on the peak one higher than the previous peak one, I1, and there is also delay between buffer condition, this is the latch position. So meaning the problem is coil armature, the coil itself, not the mechanical link, because you can see this affected to this coil part. If you see from this point to this point it will be the same. So if A peak higher but the distance is same between A and B, meaning problem in the coil armature. This is the first evaluation one. So sometimes you can see like this. You cannot see the problem on the. You cannot see the graph here, totally like this, meaning your coil armature totally broken. So this happen and cannot operate the breaker anymore. Cannot go to trip. If you see something, so we try to avoid this. You need to investigate before this happen. Second evaluation like this. So the peak still the same, but just delay on this part. If you see this like this, problem in the link system. And third evaluation, if you see similar, the combination between both, so meaning you have problem on the armature and link system. And next evaluation like this, current still the same on the coil, but has delay a little bit. So mostly this caused by low control voltage or bad winding. So you can investigate the voltage level already the same as before or not, or maybe there is bad wiring on the coil circuit. And this evaluation 5, this combination number 3 and 4, meaning sorry, this is different. Sorry, if you see like this, the I2 higher than I1, and also has delay between reference result, but the delay is the same between A and B, meaning shorter turns of the coil winding. So still meaning problem on the coil. If you see the start problem from this first peak graph, yeah, because sometimes this first peak can affect it to the second current, but sometimes doesn't affect to the second current. And this one, problem in trip latch. As you remember, there is latching mechanical part that hold the mechanical breaker. So if there is issue on that, you can see similar like this. At the end, the breaker will not operate. So you will not get the breaker when this happens, because they don't finish the process to the buffer position. So meaning they just, the coil just, plunger just touch the latching, but the latching doesn't want to move. So if latching don't move, and then breaker will not operate. And last, like this is problem on auxiliary. So you can see the same everything, but only different this one. You don't get this down current. So meaning you have issue on your auxiliary contact. Where is the function of this aux contact to remove the current, to cut off the voltage here. So this is the summary. So I can say this first trip adds little time to overall testing, but still valuable information. At least you don't lose any information, rather than you don't do any testing. First trip test is still better rather than you don't do anything. You can record information with little or no outage time. For production company or mining, just with short time outage, they can get some valuable information. And after that, they can make decision to pull breaker out of service or still continue. Use same analyzer as conventional timing. So some country like in Malaysia and Vietnam, they're really concerned now in medium voltage level to combine conventional testing and first step testing. So they can do comparison after that to see which breakers should continue with the conventional or just keep in energized like normal. So I can say the first trip testing is quite effective to analyze condition of the breaker. I think I conclude my presentation today. So I'm happy to have your question or discussion. Just let me know. Okay, Grace. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Sumedi. So now it comes to the Q&A session. If you have any questions, you may type in the chat box. Sumedi will answer your questions. And for those of you who are leaving, please remember to fill in the survey, which you can see on the right of your screen. We'll be sending the presentation materials to those completed the survey. And again, the recording of this webinar will be able to done available in 2 days' time by email, sending to your email address. And also, before you leave, please download the certificate of attendance, which you can find at the bottom control panel, the icon on the right-hand side. So, Smitty, I think we got one question here.
Yes, Grace. Yeah. How much? Okay, I can read directly, or okay, Grace.
Yeah, I can read. I can read out. Okay. How much value of current injection and time should be when we do injection test to circuit or equipment?
Okay, thank you, Sher, for this question. Yeah, actually, basically, we don't care about how the procedure, how to you make the trip your system, but based on the Megger approach, we don't inject any current, any fault. Actually, we just trip the breaker either remotely or you trip it manually. So when the system online, we just connect CT to the load and the coil from the LV cabinet, and then we just waiting trigger from control room. And this is like a passive measurement. We don't inject any current to this testing. I know some equipment, they also use current to inject it, but mostly in the market, when you talk about the first trip test, it is like a passive instrument. They just measure and you trigger it externally and manually without adding some current. Okay.
All right, and the next question is, what data are we looking for the first trip result? Is it mainly based on the graph and curve?
Yeah, the main data you can get from, the main data is from coil current. So from coil current, I believe some instrument in the market, they already give you automatic parameter. But like Megger product, we give you automatic parameter result for latching time to estimate the problem on the latching issue or the coil issue. And also we give you auxiliary contact time. We give you pick up current, maximum current, and also we give you main contact timing if you combine with the load, the current load. So at least this, and also voltage, drop voltage, how many percent drop the voltage. So with this some information, you can compare with the next test. Yeah.
Okay, and all right, I think we don't have any further questions at the moment. Thank you for the compliments, Mr. Rudy Arroyo. Okay, so if there are any further questions, you may send us email to megahongkong@mega.com. And we're also having another webinar, 2 webinars next week on the 17th of July and 19th of July. The topic are Mega's innovative multifunctional DLV tester and confidence meter, the technology and advantages. So if you're available and interested, please go to our website, www.mega.com/webinars to register for the webinar. You can also look up for our official webinar list. Okay, at the end, please be reminded to fill in the survey and download the certificate before you go. So thank you again for attending. Thank you, Sumedi, for a wonderful presentation. We hope to see you again next week. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Grace. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael. Bye-bye.